Across the planet, wild dogs roam as a lone wolf, solo or running together as a pack. All 34 canine species are consummate hunters that adopt a combination of tactics, strength, intelligence, and teamwork. The realm of dogs ranges from hefty creatures born to rule down to petite beings weighing half the weight of a brick. With their many faces, wild dogs are captivating, intimidating, and imposing one moment, adorable and disarming the next. Free spirits that entice all to succumb and answer the call of the wild. Biologically speaking, wild dogs are warm-blooded vertebrates, animals with backbones that belong to the class Mammalia. The presence of hair or fur is another mammalian characteristic, as is the way females give birth to live young and feed their infants with mother's milk. Specialized meat eaters earn them a seat at the table in the order Carnivora, a Latin term that means flesh devourers. Dog-like carnivores are all members of the Canidae family. This diverse family is broadly split into two groups, the dog-like tribe and the fox-like tribe. Wolves, jackals, and dingoes belong to the dog-like Canini tribe. Its members are commonly referred to as true dogs. Its sister tribe, Vulpini, includes the majority of foxes. Due to their primitive nature, a couple of fox species have been given special classifications. The first is the gray fox of the Americas, which is one of the few wild dogs that can climb trees. When compared to, say, a red fox, they are smaller, rounded faces and shorter snouts, and have black-tipped tails. The island foxes found on California's Channel Islands make up the second group. They are descendants of gray foxes. Each of the 6 subspecies rules their own island paradise. As a group, canines have a variety of common features. Typically, they have long muzzles and an excellent sense of smell, upright ears for acute hearing, and sharp canine teeth for grabbing and slicing flesh. Also known as canids, these mammals share other physical similarities, such as long legs built for speed or endurance, sometimes both. Bushy tails are used for warmth, balance, and as a communication flag to other group members. In addition, canines usually only breed once a year, and their young are raised in litters and underground dens. They're social animals, and mostly live in small families or big packs. As predators, they have the standard attribute of hunters, eyes at the front of their heads. Wild dogs have great vision for detecting movement at long distances and a wide field of view. Canids like African wild dogs and wolves are infamous for their hunting prowess, while others, such as foxes, also indulge in scavenging. One particular species of canine is the most widespread and well-loved, these furry companions. While it may be hard to believe, the hundreds of domestic dog breeds that exist are all descended from wolves. They might be right at home in our homes, but thanks to their ancestry, they will always be wild at heart. Wild dogs are a hugely diverse crew that have successfully colonized all the world's continents except Antarctica. The largest wild canine is one of the most recognizable of the 3 wolf species, the gray wolf. They can weigh up to 80 kilograms, inhabiting North America, Europe, and Asia. It goes by many names: the timber wolf, the white wolf, and the common wolf. Large males can measure 2 meters. The gray wolf and the critically endangered red wolf are the 2 most commonly recognized species. The red wolf is native to the southeast of the United States. As their name suggests, they have a red tinge to their coat, which sometimes causes them to be mistaken for a fox. A close relative is the little-known and rare Ethiopian wolf, endemic to the highlands of Ethiopia and eastern Africa. Unlike other wolves that live in large packs and consume a broad diet, Ethiopian wolves often venture out solo or in pairs, and when hunting, they specifically target rodents. Debate rages as to how many gray wolf subspecies exist. Up to 40 have been proposed. Some contenders include the stately Iberian wolf, native to Spain and Portugal. Compared to other wolves, they have smaller builds, tipping the scales at around 50 kilograms. The stunning Arctic wolf lives far to the north. Greenland and Canada are the only places that host these pale-coated wolves. Another Canadian subspecies is the Vancouver Island wolf. The wildlife on the island is vast, but these canines are the shyest and most elusive. It's a rare treat to catch a glimpse. Australia doesn't have wolves, but it does host a distinctive wild dog, the dingo, also found in Southeast Asia. Notable for their lean, hardy bodies, they weigh 10 to 15 kilograms. The dingoes in Australia are not native animals. These dogs were thought to have tagged along with travelers from Southeast Asia and Indonesia about 4,000 years ago. It's been suggested they were pets, but left to their own devices in the bush, they reverted back to their old ways. Dingoes have proved their adaptability, canines being found in deserts, grasslands, forests, wetlands, and sandy islands. This versatility is also shared by the wily coyote. These thickly furred dogs are known for their lean physiques, narrow, drawn-out snouts, and yellow eyes. Once chiefly located in prairies and deserts, they have spread across North America, adding forests, mountains, and urban areas to their list of favorable habitats. Across the Atlantic, sub-Saharan Africa is home to packs of these mottled canines. African painted dogs are the largest. Canines indigenous to the continent can weigh up to 36 kilograms. Jackals are less than a third of their size and usually roam in pairs. Looking like a cross between a fox and a German shepherd, these wild dogs are found in Africa and Eurasia. The tallest of the wild dogs is South America's maned wolf, standing around 90 centimeters at the shoulders. They've evolved long, stilt-like legs for life among the high grasses. Named after the hair on their necks, maned wolves are one of a kind. Asia's dholes are another unique individual. They differ from other canids in that females have more teeth, able to feed up to 12 pups. On the same continent lives one of the most unusual wild dogs. Not a raccoon, but a raccoon dog. They are the only canine known to hibernate in winter. Its closest relatives are the foxes, which make up the other tribe of canids, the vulpini. There are 12 species of true foxes that sit in the genus Vulpes. Of them, the red fox is the most common, being widespread throughout Europe, Asia, and parts of northern Africa, plus most of North America. It is also an introduced species in Australia. Red foxes are the largest of their kind, adults weighing up to 14 kilograms. Red-coated canines are found in a wide range of environments, including urban areas. Their resourcefulness and intelligence earning them their famous reputation as cunning, crafty animals. The fox group harbors the smallest of the wild dogs, the fennec fox, which lives in the deserts of North Africa. A mere 20 centimeters tall, what it lacks in stature, it makes up for in ears. These gigantic listening devices, some of the largest among canids, can grow to half the fox's body size. By dissipating or expelling heat, they keep them cool in searing temperatures. Their cousin, the bat-eared fox, uses the same trick to beat the heat in the savannas of eastern and southern Africa. Their impressive ear flaps serve an additional purpose, to help them track down their favorite food, termites. At the planet's other climatic extremes lives a snowscape specialist. The Furry soles on their feet, thick multi-layered coat, and bushy tail keep them warm in the Arctic's frigid temperatures. Around the globe, wild dogs have successfully infiltrated a wide variety of ecological niches, their resourceful nature allowing them to flourish wherever they roam. The remarkable ability of wild dogs to exploit their chosen habitats is thanks to numerous special adaptations, features, and skills. Arctic wolves live in one of the coldest, inhospitable places on Earth. Here, not many other animals can survive, meaning wolves have to cover large distances to find food. They do have stamina on their side and have developed a trot that speeds them along at around 8 kilometers per hour. At this pace, they can travel all day, their paw pads and strong claws giving them excellent traction. All canines move in a digitigrade fashion, meaning they walk on their toes. Their gait is responsible for their hooked-shaped legs, which allows them to move more quietly compared to other animals. A useful ability for a predator. This form of locomotion also gives them excellent maneuverability and endurance. They can pursue their prey to the point of exhaustion. Another important tool for these hunters is their keen sense of hearing, permitting them to get close to unsuspecting animals. For the hunted, their fur can also be a means of survival in winter. The Antarctic fox's coat is white, helping it hide from threats such as wolves or hungry polar bears. Through the seasons, they molt their layered fur to match the new colors of their environment and to cool off. On the hot savannas, African wild dogs, also known as painted dogs, need a different type of camouflage. Their multicolored mottled fur enables them to blend in seamlessly with their surroundings. No two dogs have the same pattern. Oversized round ears are another key adaptation for these creatures. Like natural satellite dishes, they can swivel around to detect minute sounds and keep track of pack members over distances. Not to be outdone in the ear department are their fellow African residents, the bat-eared foxes. They use their excellent hearing to detect insects scuttling underground. Foxes take their prey locating skill set one step further. Once the subterranean meal is heard, foxes are thought to use the Earth's magnetic field like a targeting system. It helps them judge the distance to their prey and hone in on the ultimate sweet spot for pouncing. The mouse pounce, as it's known, is a hunting maneuver executed by various canines, including the coyote. It has the element of surprise, and the prey is either stunned or flushed, making it easier to catch. Not all pounces are rewarded. When hunting, wild dogs rely on their infamous sense of smell. In wolves, it's greatly heightened. While a German Shepherd has about 225 million scent receptors, a wolf has 280 million. Their keen noses alert them to danger, providing them with details about their pack. Under the right conditions, it's possible for wolves to detect prey from over 2.5 kilometers away. As for dingoes, they have particular adaptations for dealing with life in hot, arid landscapes. Being able to swivel their heads 180 degrees gives them a wide range of vision in the desert expanse. Their pointed, triangle-shaped ears assist with body temperature regulation, as dingoes can only sweat through their ears and paws. Short fur also helps keep them cool. In addition, wild dogs have acute vision and strong, sharp teeth, all the better for seeing and dining. These are just a sample of the impressive adaptations that help wild dogs survive their day-to-day lives. With the downfall of dinosaurs around 65 million years ago came the rise of mammals. Early carnivores were among the first to emerge, including primitive cats and dogs. These two groups then went their separate ways, with dogs and their closest allied families, such as bears and sea lions, heading off on their own evolutionary path. Fossil evidence shows that the first member of the dog family proper arose around 40 million years ago. One of the most famous prehistoric carnivores was the dire wolf of North America. They lived about 2 million years ago and hunted giant prey like woolly mammoths. So how did we get from the fearsome wolves of old to the modern furballs we got on today? It's a question that brings up much debate among scientists. It is agreed that domestic dogs are the descendants of the gray wolf. When and how this happened is open to speculation. Early theories held that dogs were wild up until about 12,000 years ago. This was refuted in 1997 when DNA research showed the domestication of wolves started much earlier, about 130,000 years ago, ages before humans lived in settlements. This molecular evidence casts doubt on the long-held idea that dogs were domesticated to serve as guardians and companions. What is more likely is that wolves were accidentally tamed as they followed along after groups of hunter-gatherers feeding on their scraps. The survival of the friendliest theory believes these better-fed wolves had a greater survival rate and passed on their genes. These amiable wolves gradually evolved into the myriad of dog breeds seen today. Despite their size, they all continue to show signs of their wild dog heritage.
The various types of wild dogs may look different and live in a range of ecosystems, but they do exhibit some common behaviors. Larger canines that feed primarily on meat live in big packs. African wild dog groups can have between 6 and 40 individuals. These hunters prowl far and wide, establishing and defending large territories ranging from 200 to 700 square kilometers. That means only about 2 packs could be sustained in the area of Greater London. A pack can have up to 20 pups among the largest litters found in canines, which the entire pack will look after. African wild dogs do what most big families do together: rest, enjoy a bit of rough and tumble, sort out who's the top dog, and provide feasts. While African wild dogs always hunt as a team, wolves sometimes hunt alone, often when prey is plentiful. Wolf packs have a strict hierarchy, with the alpha male at the top, followed closely by an alpha female, usually the only pair to breed. Rankings are maintained by body posture, dominant and submissive. There are benefits to being part of a pack, such as protection in numbers, the weak being supported by the strong, the opportunity to take on larger kills, shared care of youngsters with knowledge passed down through generations. Communication is also crucial to group success. The spine-chilling howls of wolves have no equal. Their choruses, when a pack sings in unison at multiple pitches, can include up to 12 related harmonies. Why do they howl? Various reasons. To reassemble the pack, to claim territory and warn intruders, and to maintain relationships. Howling up into the air allows the sound to carry further across open spaces. Wolves can hear sounds from over 15 kilometers away. Other wild dogs have their own vocal communication styles. In addition to howling, coyotes also squeak, bark, wail, and yip. Due to their musical repertoire, they're also known as song dogs. At times, it can sound like they're having a two-way conversation. Howling pairs are often signaling, "This is our turf, stay away." Jackals have their own yipping sound that only family members respond to. Scent marking is another popular form of communication used by most wild dogs. They urinate and defecate to mark territory boundaries or to protect a kill. Thanks to behaviors like this, wild dogs are able to share intelligence, social skills, and advanced communication, whether alone or in a pack. When the newest generation of wild dogs come into the world, they do so with plenty of company. The term puppy is derived from the French word poupée, meaning doll. Female dingoes deliver litters of 4 to 6 puppies after a gestation period of about 9 weeks. The pups come in a variety of earthy tones. Offensive and defenseless, they're protected in a den for up to 3 weeks before they're ready to explore the outside world. Pups suckle day and night, and while they're occupied, the mom has a chance to give them a good clean. This enthusiastic licking also strengthens family bonds. Dingo pups wean at around 2 months of age. After this point, some mothers stay with their litters, allowing them to share her kills. By 4 months, the juveniles try hunting for themselves. Before reaching a year, they strike out for independence. Dingoes have lifespans of about 10 years. While raising pups in the desert has its challenges, so too does rearing young in the world's northern extremes. This Arctic fox family lives in cold, harsh terrain, the tundra of Norway's Svalbard archipelago. Having their babies in the right season is critical. Births are timed for the onset of summer, when there's an abundance of food, namely nesting birds and their eggs. Arctic foxes usually have 5 to 8 pups, also known as kits. Sadly, not all will survive their first winter. Arctic temperatures can plummet to minus 50 degrees Celsius, and food is often hard to come by. However, summer is a time of plenty, and play is to be enjoyed while the warmth lasts. Arctic foxes get to enjoy up to 4 summers in their lifetime. No matter where they live in the world, all canids have dens. They're mainly used during the breeding season for the protection of pups. Sure, wild dogs prefer to sleep out in the open, but as they grow, the youngsters have an increasing need for space. They can be rambunctious. This play fighting will give them strength and hone essential skills they'll need for later on in life. A survival behavior fox kits exhibit early in their lives is to lick their mother's face, prompting her to vomit up food. Most wild dogs employ this regurgitation reflex, as storing food in the stomach is much easier than bringing prey back to the den. Coyote mums have a lot of mouths to feed. With litters of up to 12 pups, a large carcass is a welcome prize. These furry babies have about 10 years' worth of meals to look forward to. Raccoon dogs have a shorter lifespan, ranging from 3 to 8 years. Being small canines, the pups are tiny. At birth, these petite fluff balls can weigh as little as 60 grams, about the same as a tennis ball. 7 times their size are the largest of the canid pups, baby wolves. Forest homes provide natural obstacle courses for the youngsters to train on. There are rivers to paddle in, and rustic balance beams to cross, skills they will use throughout their lives, which can span up to 8 years. From agility and hunting tactics to establishing territories of their own, these are aspects of a dog's life that all young canines need to learn to equip them for a successful adulthood. Thank you. Being predators, wild dogs sit at the top of the food chain for the most part, unchallenged. While they're all meat eaters, they do include some plant material in their diets, which makes them omnivores. For example, wolves not only dine on prey, but also berries, nuts, grasses, and sedges. The greens in their diet are not usually consumed for their nutritional value. Grasses are thought to purge sizable worms from their systems. Clearly, large active hunters can't rely on fruits and plants to survive. They need much larger fare. Big hoofed mammals are popular menu items. Animals such as elk are prime targets. Giant bulls with huge antlers are not an easy target, even for a pack. A cold river makes this wolf think twice about risking freezing wet paws. Female elk and their smaller antlers, on the other hand, are more manageable prey. Wolves have powerful jaws. A few forceful bites can fracture and crush bones. The life of wolves is often feast or famine. When meat is on offer, they can eat up to 10 kilograms in one sitting. When times are lean, they survive on stored fat and can go without food for almost 2 weeks. While they're out searching for a meal, wolves need to ensure they don't become hunted themselves. Predators such as grizzly and polar bears, plus wildcats, are known to prey on wolves. Elsewhere in Australia, dingoes often target large bounding prey. Wild dogs go for the small or the weak. To take on healthy adult kangaroos, they need to be at the top of their game. Their only chance is in numbers. It takes a unified effort from the whole pack. Big red kangaroos can reach speeds of over 50 kilometers an hour, allowing them to leave these canines behind. One of the last purebred dingo strongholds is Fraser Island, off Australia's east coast. It's the largest sand island in the world, surrounded by water. The dingoes scour the shoreline for seafood, with fish making up more than 25% of their diet. Gray foxes in South America can dine on other bounty from the sea, penguins, a good source of protein, minerals, and fat. While foxes may predate on birds, they in turn need to watch out for avian aerial attacks. Raptors are skilled fox hunters. On the open plains and in sparse woodlands, African wild dogs are formidable beasts. They have few predators. Lions and hyenas are the exceptions. Like them, African wild dogs are voracious hunters. They use their pack size to gain the upper hand on their prey, which includes warthogs, zebras, and wildebeest. Elephants can also tempt these dogs, but these dedicated mothers will boldly defend their calves. Where a water buffalo mom is facing numerous attackers alone. Though courageous, her attempts to save the calf are futile. A group of vultures is the sign of a kill. Some jackals come to fight for their share. On the Pride Lands, there's a strict pecking order that must be obeyed. The kings always die first. From land animals to marine creatures, wild dogs never pass up the chance for a free meal. Opportunistic predators, they hunt whatever prey presents itself. Use their intelligence to capitalize on seasonal offerings and scavenge any meal they can find. They are true survivors. From wolves that we feared and held in awe to foxes with their sly, cunning ways, to our loyal, hard-working companions, humans have had a long and meaningful history with dogs. In ancient Egypt, they worshipped a new jackal-headed god of mummification and the afterlife. They believed he guided the dead to those who judged their souls. Foxes were featured in many of Aesop's fables, tales that date back to ancient Greece. While often seen as tricksters, foxes have also been portrayed as wise, humorous, and admirable characters. Over the ages, there have also been conflicting views about wolves. In some stories, they're portrayed as villains. In a well-known fable, one blows down houses. In a popular fairy tale, a wolf's cunning, menacing ways teach children to be wary of strangers. As for werewolves, the idea that people transformed into these supernatural beasts sprang from the imaginations of ancient Romans and Greeks. Their popularity has not waned in modern times, with these creatures often starring in fantasy and horror films. In contrast, Native American cultures value wolves as clan animals that represent courage, strength, and hunting success. Cultural ties to dingoes are also ancient. In indigenous Australian mythology, they are often depicted in vivid rock art. In recent times, the relationship has become strained. Dingoes have been vilified for attacks on livestock and occasionally children. On the flip side, they're heralded as an Australian icon and a tourism drawcard. In the Arctic, sled dogs have been used for at least 9,000 years as a means of transporting goods, a human-dog partnership that continues in some communities. Today, many worship at the altar of the pooch. They are our darlings, exercise bodies, workmates, and confidants. There are many differences between domestic breeds and wild dogs, an obvious one being their conservation status. Several species of wild dogs are either on the endangered or critically endangered list. Others are slightly better off, classified as vulnerable. Like many of the world's animals, this is due to hunting, habitat and prey loss, and human activity. In Australia, dingoes are often seen as marauding pests by farmers, but the biggest threat to this wild dog is inbreeding with domestic dogs, which is gradually diluting them as a distinct species. In Africa, wild dogs are one of the world's most endangered mammals. In addition to the usual threats, they're at risk from viral diseases. Wolves were once extremely widespread. Over the ages, they've been persecuted and almost hunted to extinction. Once again, their future is in human hands. All wild dogs deserve the protection, care, and devotion we lavish on man's best friends. After all, they are essentially one